I feel good. Maybe even great. Which is weird because logically I should not. And by the way, if you're the type of person who gets annoyed by things like this, I apologize, but I'm not going to get rid of it for the video. I was at the park and I don't actually know what it's called in English. I know the name of the tree in French. But anyway, it's a tree that grows vines. And when I was young, I grew up in the country, spent a lot of time in the forest, and just kind of developed the habit of whenever I pass by one of these trees, just grab a spine and kind of chew on it like it would be a toothpick or something. So anyway, pick that up, and I guess I'm gonna keep munching on it until it's done. And by done, I mean yes, I will slowly chew it until I've consumed every last piece of it. Which probably seems weird to a lot of people, but I don't know, to me it seems normal. Anyway, the reason why I probably should not be feeling great, even though I do for some reason, is because, you know, yesterday was my wife's birthday. And, last year when it was her birthday, we were like, oh, next year we'll be together on your birthday. We'll celebrate it together. And obviously, we're not. And the situation is still as bad as it was before, or, objectively worse. And things aren't necessarily, there's no indication that it's going to get better from the doctor's perspective and everything. It's just like, going to continue to decline and everything. My perception of the situation still hasn't changed. I still remain positive. I still believe everything's going to be fine. And, as I've mentioned, I feel like in almost every single video for the last few months at this point, last 4 months have been intense, but it's gradually getting better and everything's, getting better. And it seems like this cold, which, at this point is pretty much over. Yes, it's still a little there, but it's like, I don't know, maybe 90% over. I'm like in that final 10% phase. And it seems as though it actually helped. The coughing is much better than it was before the cold. Uh, Breathing, same thing. I still have slight breathing issues at night. Coughing every once in a while, but really not as much as before. And, overall, everything is going really well. So I'm still very optimistic, and I still believe I will be cured and everything's going to work itself out. But it's just, everything takes longer than expected, that you're told, and it can be frustrating. Like, as an example, at this point, it's been months and months and months since I've had to force myself to eat. And even though, at this point, I'm able to eat more, I rarely throw up, even though ironically I did throw up yesterday. Um, and, I, it seems like things are better on that front. So it's like I'm able to enjoy the food as I'm eating it mostly. Um, and, I'm able to eat more, like I was saying, which is good. But at this point, like, because I've been forcing myself to eat for so long, I can't judge anymore when I eat enough, when I don't eat enough, if I need to force myself to eat more, because it's like, yeah, every once in a while I do get, a slight hunger, but it's not very intense. It doesn't usually last long, and it vanishes very quickly when I eat. So it's like I can't rely on my hunger to determine when I need to eat, how much I need to eat. So I always need to force myself to eat. That's this sensation that I've been in for the last few months of like I always need to force myself to eat, and it always feels like it's never enough. And there's always that fear that if I try to force myself to eat too much, I'll throw up. And it does happen every once in a while, like it did yesterday. So it's just like I'm in this weird situation of, because, of the cold that I had, I was supposed to start working it out, haven't been able to. I'm waiting because I have a meeting tomorrow with my oncologist, and I'm going to ask him, hey, can I start, lifting weights again? So I'm like, since I'm going to speak to him tomorrow anyway, let's just wait till I speak to him, and then, I can start working out again, whether it's with exercise bands or weights or whatever it is. But it's just like that was, delayed by a good week and a half, 2 weeks as a result of that. And then the eating, it's like because of the cold and everything, there was a period where I wasn't able to eat as much and everything. So once again, like I have no idea what to expect tomorrow when they weigh me. Am I going to have lost a little weight? Am I going to have gained a little weight? Is it going to be stable? I don't know. It's hard to tell. And it's because of that not being able to judge anymore if I'm eating enough or not. Because in the past, it's like, okay, cool. I eat when I'm hungry. I stop eating when I'm not hungry. And that's it. Simple. All good. Now it's like I can't do that anymore. I know that the more I eat, the better. The more weight I gain, the better. I know that once I start working out and rebuilding muscle, that's going to make a huge difference because, my body's very good at metabolizing the food. So, even though I'm eating a lot more than I have been for the last few months, I'm still like super skinny. And it's not until I know it's not going to be until I start working out and being able to rebuild that muscle that I'm really going to start, gaining weight again and getting back to a place where I'm healthy. So because of all those things, there's just this like overarching impression of like, there is no logical reason for me to be feeling good. Yet I am. Like the last couple weeks have been intense. There's been, a period where I was just like completely disconnected from my emotions. And now it's like, even though I'm not 100% back to normal and I'm not back to the place where I can breathe deeply and connect with the universe and just feel grateful all the time, it's like I am optimistic. I don't have any doubts. Like everything is, great. It feels good, which is weird because it feels like it shouldn't. It's like, given the situation I'm in, it feels like I shouldn't be feeling the way that I do, yet I am somehow. And it's strange. Maybe it's because it's been like so many months that I've kind of been out of it and I feel like I haven't been myself and I'm almost back to being myself. Maybe that's why it feels weird. It's like kind of like I forgot how to be myself, and now that I'm rediscovering it, it feels strange because I'm still getting used to it. I don't know, maybe that's it. It's just weird to be in this situation of like, not knowing if I'm eating enough, not understanding why I feel optimistic and happy when the situation seems to dictate that I shouldn't. And, it's just given everything the doctors have told me when it comes to this type of cancer and the way it progresses and everything. Excuse me. There's no logical reason for me to believe that it's going to get better, yet I do believe it beyond the shadow of a doubt. And my body is showing me that exact belief. It is getting better. Everything is getting better, even though logically it shouldn't, which is good once again. But it's just, it just brings me back to this weird sensation of I feel good, but I don't know why. It feels like I shouldn't. I don't know. Anyway, I think at this point I'm just saying the same thing over and over again and probably bugging a bunch of people with this. So I'm going to end the video here. But yeah, it's just been, it's an interesting, strange period that I'm going through right now. So yeah, all part of the process, So thank you for watching. Hopefully this was somewhat entertaining, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. Ooh, Mr. Button, been a while.